All right. Welcome to another edition of the Noles Podcast. I am your host, Gregory McCoy. This podcast is by a fan for fans. I am not a journalist. I am not a reporter. I am not an insider. I do not work for a website. The majority of my content comes from me, in my opinion. Other information comes from the internet. Today is November 6th, 2021. No segments for this episode. Just more Florida State football stuff. And I'm not sure if it's the 6th or the 7th, but this is a reaction to the NC State, Florida State football game. I wasn't expecting a win. I wasn't expecting to be able to run the ball, and I am outside. And if you hear the wind blowing on this episode, I apologize, but it is what it is. I wasn't expecting a win. I wasn't expecting to be able to run the ball, and they've had the flu bug come through the campus, and it ravaged our team, took away our starting quarterback. But I'm not even sure if he's out there that we win this game, because the defense it looked to me that we had the majority of our starting defense out there, and they played good in spurts, but just the touchdowns they gave up, they just looked helpless. Very good run defense for the most part. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we knew we were going to be limited on offense because of our offensive line. And then when I seen the thing come across my feed on Instagram that Mackenzie Milton was going to be the starter, I just knew it was a loss then, because he's limited. He has limited arm strength. He has limited mobility. I mean, he's probably got a very high football IQ, but that leg injury has really taken its toll on his football ability in terms of mobility and arm strength. My thing with Mackenzie Milton, when you speed things up, it seems like he is able to move this offense. When you try to be a little bit more methodical, that's when he gets in trouble. And somehow you got Miami coming up. That's a loss. It's amazing that he's been able to get these guys to fight in every game. And, I said this going back last year, that if he could do that last year or this year, that's par for the course. So he's flipping the culture. It's just going to take a while to get some more talented guys into this program. But somehow, some way in this offseason, you got to find a way to do something about your offensive line, because I watched Robert Scott and Darius Washington. They got to be the worst pair of tackles in Power 5. Easy. Now, I'm not saying that they can't play. They just can't play tackle. Now, when are you going to play Rod Orr and Lloyd Willis? When? You got 3 games left. Why won't you play them? You have nothing to lose. You're not favored in any of these remaining games. Okay, Love, Taylor, and Gibbons are hurt. So, for all the hoopla that was surrounding Maury Smith, and Maury Smith might be the best center on the roster, but that's not saying much. He's an undersized center. I mean, we got dominated today. Corey Durden came back. I mean, it was too bad that when he played for us, he couldn't fucking dominate, excuse my language, he couldn't dominate like he did today, but he dominated our offensive line. It really doesn't take much. So, just going into the offseason, you got to find some kind of way to flip this offensive line like you did the defensive line. You got to find a way. The play calling in the second half was pretty good, And you should have did that in the first half. You know, where you spreading them out and basically making them, you know, tell you what coverage they're playing. And, you know, you just need more of that. You know, you can't, the adjustments have to come before halftime. You have to be able to adjust within the half, not at halftime. And just some bad coaching decisions throughout the game. And but I don't think, you know, you need to fire anybody. I don't think anybody on this staff deserves to be fired, because the talent that they inherited is you're only going to get so much out of it. And I don't care, like your boy Kirby Smart said, you know, you can be the greatest coach, X's and O's coach in the world, but if you ain't got the players, it ain't going to mean nothing. And I'm a firm believer in that. So we just got to be patient, man. You know, I said they were capable of winning these last remaining games, so they could lose them all. You know, I didn't know anything about the flu bug until later on in the week. But the whole Chuba Purdy thing, I just felt like that was mismanaged. I would have played Chuba Purdy just so he could see, you know, where he's at as a quarterback. Because I don't think Chuba has a stronger arm, better mobility. He's not as cerebral at the quarterback position right now as Mackenzie Milton. So I really don't think you were going to lose anything. I think you sacrificed Chuba for Mackenzie Milton, and you're only going to have Mackenzie Milton for one season. Bad decision. And just to go a little bit further on that, you chose Chuba Purdy over Jeff Sims. So, and Jeff Sims was all in on FSU. He was the bell cow for the 2020 class for this team. And you basically, when you got the job, you dismissed him for Chuba Purdy. So, another bad decision. So, AJ Duffy better be a damn home run out the park. Like, he had better be a home run out the park, or you just gonna be looking real crazy with your quarterback situation. And you know, how do you replace Kier Thomas and Jermaine Johnson? Because they're probably gonna go pro. Fabian Lovett's probably gonna go pro. So, you know, who do you replace those guys with? So, I don't know. I think the only game you really got a shot of winning now is Boston College. And word on the street is they getting a quarterback back. But these last two games, probably the two best defenses in the ACC, you got exposed. You know, we were in a false sense of security with that 3-game winning streak and being able to run the football and do all that stuff. And then you went against two really good defenses, and it showed you that, hey, your offensive line still sucks. And I said that before the season even started. Your offensive line was mediocre. So you have to address that in the offseason. Like I said, I think it's time to play the young guys on the offensive line. You might get one win out of these 3 remaining games. One win, bro. So the way that kid from Miami, Van Dyke or whatever his name is throwing the football, you're not gonna beat them. Because the dude, Leary, lit you up today. What you think Miami going to do to you? Your DBs stink. With the exception of Jamie Robinson. Everybody else sucks. Jamie Robinson is the best defensive back in the secondary, but he's not really asked to cover. He's more like a hybrid. Okay? But Brownlee... Number 7, Noles is okay. He's a true freshman, so I'm not going to say he sucks. But, dude, just some of the coverages that they be calling, man, like, you already know, go over the top on Florida State. So why is you not playing with 2 safeties? The run defense from the defensive linemen and the linebackers is actually pretty good. But these linebackers can't cover worth a damn. I mean, NC State routinely was hitting running backs out of the backfield. So it's just, you're inept on offense and defense. Special teams was actually okay today. I like the fight that they had, but it just wasn't enough. Just the touchdowns you gave up, man, was just simple little plays, screens, deep passes. Nothing really intricate. So, I don't know. Miami this week, I think it's going to be a loss. I'll preview that later on in the week. So, it's just hopefully we get Jordan Travis back and we're actually able to compete in that game. So, we'll see what happens. Thank you for listening. Be mindful of everything you put into your body. Do your research. And as always, go Noles.